Okay. Tomorrow is really a big day. The U.S. Supreme Court will begin oral arguments in the case of Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. Now, this is the case that presents the greatest opportunity to restore the sanctity of life in America since the infamous 1973 Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade that legalized abortion on demand through all 9 months of pregnancy. Now, earlier today, FRC released a new publication that goes over how abortion laws in the United States compare to those in other countries around the world. Now, how we stack up, I bet it will surprise you. With me now to talk about this is Mary Szoch. She's the director of the Center for Human Dignity at the Family Research Council. She co-authored the new publication, and she will be out at the Supreme Court on the steps tomorrow speaking out for the unborn. Mary, welcome back to the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Mary, tell us about the new publication and what many in America may not be aware of when it comes to our laws regarding abortion.
Well, we looked at America's default law on abortion, the Roe v. Wade decision, which allows abortion through 40 weeks of pregnancy, and we compared that with the laws of every other country across the globe. And what we found is that the United States is one of only 6 nations that allows abortion through 40 weeks of pregnancy, with the other 5 nations being North and South Korea, China, Vietnam, and Canada. And this really does come as a shock to most people. We saw that 48 out of 51 European countries prohibit abortion past 14 weeks. We see that across the globe, the most common abortion law is to outlaw abortion or only allow it in cases of physical health of the mother. The globe recognizes the dignity of the unborn child, at least to some extent, but America certainly does not.
You know, when you listen to all of the rhetoric on television, the news media, the left, you would think that, laws like we're seeing, actually before the court tomorrow, the law out of Mississippi on the ban after 15 weeks, that these things are like unbelievable. Where did they come from? America, actually, as you said, we're out of step. Not that I want to compare myself by the rest of the world, but clearly on the issue of life, America is an outlier when it comes to our lack of protection for the unborn.
We certainly are. And when you think of who our abortion policy peers are, North Korea, we think of them as one of the greatest human rights violators in this generation. We think of China, another human rights violator. They put religious minorities in concentration camps. We see Vietnam, political opponents there are imprisoned. And we see Canada, a place that is seen as a country that respects life, but it really doesn't in any way. It's a country where people with disabilities are not valued, where their assisted suicide legislation is terrible. So we really find ourselves among other countries who do not respect life in any way. And I think our real question is, where should America be on this? We should be leading the pack. We should be the best of the best when it comes to defending the unborn.
Yeah, that's so true. And we could be on the verge of that. About 30 seconds left, Mary. I know you're going to be on the steps of the Supreme Court tomorrow. How can our listeners, our viewers, be praying as the court moves into these oral arguments tomorrow?
I think that we need to pray for God to move mightily in this case. I think we need to pray for protection for the unborn, for wisdom for the justices, and for them to really accept the reality that an unborn child is a human being, and that human beings deserve the right to life because they're made in the image of God.
Absolutely. And we will be praying that, and we will be obviously covering tomorrow's oral arguments here on Washington Watch. Mary Szoch, always great to have you on. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Tony.